to remove the Honorable SABINA CHEGE as the Deputy Minority Party Whip. I went further and met him on the Tuesday, 11th of April. And he did give me a commitment that he was going to make the ruling. So when we came to the house that Tuesday at 2:30 p.m., he didn't make the ruling. Really not the ruling, but the communication. He didn't make the communication. I asked him, and he indicated to me that the communication was not yet ready by the time the House resumed the sittings. He indicated he would do it the following day, that's Wednesday, the 12th. Come Wednesday the 12th, he didn't do it. In fact, he preempted by calling me whilst on the seat that the ruling, that the communication he was to make on the removal of SABINA CHEGE was brought to his desk just before he left for the house or for the chamber. But he noted some errors which required to be corrected. And therefore he undertook on that day to make it the following day, which is today, Thursday. Now, today, Thursday, what we expected the Speaker, the Honorable Moses Wetangula, to do is to communicate the decision of the AZIMIO coalition to remove the Honorable SABINA CHEGE as the Deputy Minority Whip. So when he attempted to do so, he veered off. He took a tangent. Instead of communicating the decision we made as a coalition party, he brought in some extraneous issues about some letters purportedly written by some members of Jubilee, which had nothing whatsoever to do with the decision we had arrived at and the communication he was supposed to make on the same decision. And you heard me point out that when I rose to speak, that there was no debate whatsoever on the matter at hand, and that he was ambushing me. You even saw him going further to ask me to table the minutes, and I told him off that there were no minutes I was going to table, because those minutes were not meant for the plenary. There are minutes which I only shared with him out of courtesy, because the standing orders don't even require us to have any minutes to support the removal of Deputy Minority Whip. So in summary, therefore, we are reading mischief. We are reading mischief on the part of the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Honorable Moses Wetangula. We are beginning to see that he is starting to listen to third parties, to forces outside the House, that he is already beginning to immerse himself in the politics of the coalitions. I want first and foremost to urge the Speaker, Honorable Wetangula, not to allow himself to be invited, to refuse the invitation from whomsoever to get involved in coalition politics, to try as much as possible to project the office of the Speaker as a neutral arbiter in House matters and in House proceedings. After he allowed the debate, which was totally uncalled for, the debate which of course degenerated and actually resulted into fisticuffs, physical confrontation between members, he is again attempted to make a ruling that he is going to make a ruling on this matter at some date which is unspecified. You've seen I have asked him to give us the date when he is going to communicate our decision, not making a ruling. He has again refused. He has declined to give us a firm date when he is communicating on our matter. So our purpose here, therefore, is just to put the Honorable Speaker on notice. Really. As members of the AZIMIO La Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, with the full rights to participate in the affairs of this House, and indeed the affairs of this country, with the right to choose for ourselves who leads us at what level. We are not going to allow anybody to mess around with that right. I can tell you. And if we don't get the communication being given to the House, the communication about our decision as a coalition on Tuesday, then it will not be business as usual in this House. We have tried to restrain ourselves now for more than 6 months, but we are being subjected to endless provocation. Today's provocation is certainly going to be the camel that broke, going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Let me repeat, that today's provocation is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. And that as a coalition party, we are not going to take it anymore. As a matter of fact, this latest decision by Honorable Wetangula has got the effect of making us reconsider very, very strongly our involvement in the so-called bipartisan process. Because as far as I'm concerned, let me now speak about my mind. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think those talks are going to be useful anymore. With the kind of attitude we are seeing now emanating from the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is an avowed member of KWANZA, by the way. The Honorable Justin Muturi was our Speaker here for 10 years. And he belonged to Jubilee for those 10 years. Because Jubilee which nominated him. But I must commend him that he tried by all means not to be seen to be leaning on anyone's side. In fact, he only came out of the woodworks to show his political inclination at the tail end of his term, when he said he was going to run for president on a DP ticket. You will recall. So I want to really advise the Honorable Mr. Wetangula that the trajectory he takes at these early days of this term of parliament will determine what legacy he's going to leave as a Speaker of this august House. But let me repeat as I conclude now, that on this matter, we are not going to countenance any form of mischief, any shenanigans from any quarter. And we are going to fight any person or any authority who attempts to usurp our mandate as a coalition party, regardless of who or what they are. Thank you very much.
Mheshimiwa, we had such an issue recently in the Senate. We had the shenanigans you're talking about for like a month. First, where does Jubilee stand in your coalition? And two, when do you intend to forward the name to replace SABINA CHEGE?
You know, we ask you very many questions. One, as far as we are concerned, Jubilee remains a member of the AZIMIO coalition. We haven't seen any notice from the Jubilee leadership of intention to disengage from AZIMIO. So until we see that, we can't preempt. It's not our business as AZIMIO to predict when Jubilee wants to leave AZIMIO or not. In any case, it's the right of every party to belong to whatever coalition they choose to belong to, and to disengage from those coalitions if and when they do so, they choose to do so. And I've said that the communication we are expecting from the Speaker is a communication about the removal of SABINA CHEGE from the position of the Deputy Minority Whip. I have told him there on the floor that as a coalition we are yet to communicate about the replacement of SABINA CHEGE. We shall be doing that in due course, at our own time. But first and foremost, let the Honorable Speaker communicate our decision to remove SABINA CHEGE. The rest shall deal with. But let me tell you, again, you know, you keep on provoking me. In this house, we have been in this house for long enough, some of us now. And we have dealt with more serious situations here. Don't take our patience or lenience for weakness. Don't allow us to show our true colors, Mr. Speaker. Don't go that direction. Thank you very much.